All right, here we have over here.
Where?
At the left of the map, here, it's the last hope for Slayers. Still has to win 3 more games in a row if Team Slayers is going to advance to the next round. There's a Slayers puzzle for you. And over here at the right side of the map, from the Team Liquid, playing for oGs-TL.
oGs-TL, genial!
You know how to make a nerd really angry? A nerd who likes Rubik's Cubes, man? You take a Rubik's Cube, you switch 2 squares. You give it back to him, man.
Pull the stickers off?
Yeah, you pull the stickers off.
Put them on different spots?
Yeah. That nerd is going to try all night, man. He's going to freak out. He's going to have a mid-nerd crisis, man. He's going to be like, I thought I could always solve the cube. I solved the cube in under 3 minutes in my 9th grade history class and impressed everyone, but now I can't solve the cube.
Well, if they're really good at Rubik's Cubes, though, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out once they get to the point where it throws off the pattern. That's a good point, though. That's a good way to anger like a mediocre nerd. A slightly intelligent nerd.
A nerd who only has memorized the process, maybe thrown off a little bit, but someone who really understands the cube, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Puzzle would be fine, I feel.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If you took StarCraft and like switched the hotkeys for the SCV and the Marine, it would confuse him for a minute, but then he'd figure it out and he'd still be fine.
He'd absolutely be fine because here's even the
I guess
deeper
Puzzle
meaning
wouldn't be having those hotkeys, but whatever.
that's the deeper meaning behind all of this is he doesn't play Terran.
That's right. He wouldn't be thrown off at all if he switched SCV and Marine because he's like, I don't care. I don't build those units.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
And the probe actually gives up on blocking the hatchery, so the hatchery does go down at the expansion there.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. I expected him to pylon block. You almost never see a probe ignore that hatchery and let it go up like that these days.
Yeah.
And a state of game where we have only Forge Fast Expands out of Protosses. Only Vines he's like the only one who didn't Forge Fast Expand the past 2 months in the GSL.
I think maybe it was I mean, if he blocks the pylon, Zenio could just make it at his 3rd. Because he's going to take 3 bases anyway because he's Forge Fast Expanded, so...
But he is actually mining gas right now, Moltrap. He's not going to take a very fast 3rd.
Huh. And that probe's going back in for another scout. See what it can see. Is the queen going to kill it in time? Yes, it is. No scouting information received. Does not see the gas being mined. Very important.
He's mining... Oh, wow. I think he's going to do an all-in here because he actually is continuing to mine gas as his zergling speed is finished. He has not pulled any drones. Well, a 3rd base goes down, though.
Yeah, he just made the 3rd base, so...
I'm like, it's 3 base baneling bus, Moltrap, a lot of production.
Well, it's possible. He
There's
just
a baneling
put down
nest?
a baneling nest.
I think that's actually what it is.
Well, because, I mean, he gets down that 3rd hatchery.
A lot of extra production.
It actually just makes a lot of extra production there. It's the cost of 2 queens and gets a little bit less production.
And there's a high point of transition here.
Exactly.
So I like this build. I have to say I've never seen a 3-base baneling aggression move out of the Zerg in this matchup. I've not seen that.
He's only mining gas off of 1 gas though, so he's not going to be able to make a ton of banelings. It's just going to be enough.
It's all be about the speedlings.
It's going to be speedlings and maybe enough banes to kill the pylon. Basically, is what it's going to be.
1 weak point on the wall and everything changes.
But 2 zealots are coming in to harass this brand new 3rd.
He is going to want to hide his zergling count right now. The zergling count quite high. At, in fact, 25. If Zenio shows all the zerglings, will be very disappointed. Actually, he's using the hatchery as a distraction point.
Oh, wow.
He's actually just going to allow...
He's just going to ignore it. He's going to go for this bust. The banelings are morphing outside of the natural. The hatchery completes and the zealots are continuing to go to work at it, but he's just ignoring it altogether.
With only this amount of banelings, though, with good force fields, he will not be able to bust the gate. He has to get the pylon, and...
all he needs to do is stop 1 baneling from exploding. If he can pick off 1 bane... He does pick off 1 baneling, and that means he's not going to be able to kill the pylon. And now this hatchery is just going to go down for free. That's 300 wasted minerals after all. Well, maybe not. Is he going to save it? Oh, it's down to like 150. Oh my gosh, saved it with 30 hit points left.
The banelings have all been taken out, but the gateway is about to fall, Moltrap. And zerglings have gotten in. And
oh
anyways,
no!
Run past the cannons.
Oh, this is so bad for Puzzle. Can't believe he let those in. Trying to build a cannon desperately in his main. There are 8 Zerglings there in the main. That is a lot of Zerglings to deal with. He's having to pull all of his probes here to try to fend those off. Otherwise, the Zerglings would just surround those sentries and kill them.
The gateway has 24 hit points left. Its shields are starting to recharge. I think it would be suicide to try to attack into that many cannons, though.
Yeah,
even if he busts the gateways, that is... I'm like, there you go. That's 5 cannons.
Well,
like,
he does have sentries there, so he can put a force field where that gateway is.
I think this is actually ludicrous by Zenio. He is more all-in than bit by bit at this point.
And he goes for the pylon first. The gateway goes down, the force field goes down and blocks the rest of the Banes. They explode, and looks like Puzzle's going to hold this afterwards.
Yeah, he's totally fine. GG.
GG coming from Zenio. I guess he was completely all in there.
I mean, he had to. He had made so many Zerglings, he couldn't just go, well, I guess I'll just go transition at home. But,
yeah. So, and it's because he thought he had the kill in the bag. He's like, I've broken this. I've killed almost all the sentries. I just have to stream Zerglings in here. And then when he got the rest of the Zerglings got there, they're like, oh, actually he's still got sentries and he's got 5 cannons.
I think OGS needs to take Puzzle more seriously right now.
Puzzle's laughing here. He's excited. And, you know, 4-3 looks like a much more respectable score than 4-1.
Very true.
And but remember, Puzzle still has to defeat 2 more players in a row if he wants to actually win this Team League match.
I really wonder, who do you send out as OGS? Do you send out Supernova this time, or do you go for Inca? Inca is known as the king of PvP. Do you make him your final boss?
He used to be known as the king of PvP.
Very true. I actually, in my opinion, I send Inca and then I send Supernova. I don't want to close with a PvP. I don't think that's something I would want.
That's true. They do still have Finn.
They do?
He might be an option. I might send Finn and then Supernova.
I could even see sending the STC maybe, but...
That's a possibility as well, actually. Yeah, he's been doing pretty well recently.
I might even encourage Inca to do a 2-gate proxy or something, you know? His micro is so good that even if his opponent scouts it, he may be able to somehow pull off a win because, I mean, he's Inca.
Yeah.
No one micro zealots better than him. Nobody does.
Well, and that's why... And that's kind of similar, like I was saying before, why I thought that Vines should have just done a proxy or something like that. Because, you know, you flip a coin. The best that happens is it lands heads and you win the Team League match. The worst that happens, you get tails and you still have more chances. In this case, if they lose that coin flip, only have 1 more chance, though, is the thing.
So I can see that. In PvP, though, almost with the level of micro these players have, 2-gate proxying isn't even really a coin flip anymore. It's like who micros their zealots better, who has the better probe pulls at the mineral line type of thing.
It's the way we've seen it go recently. We've seen a lot of those. Hold that thought. We are going to find out who they're going to send. Inca doesn't look like he's moving right now. Finn is on the edge. There he is. It's going to be for GG. OGS Finn.
A bold choice. 4GG is obviously a very strong player. His TVP is pretty good.
I like that.
But he's had rough patches in the past. he may botch this one. A bold choice, but I like it.
The coin flip that I was kind of thinking of, by the way, was if it gets scouted or not.
Right.
Because if the defender scouts it, they almost always win. If they don't scout it, they tend to lose. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But anyway, Finn is going to come out here. Finn, is he Code S?
No, I don't believe so.
No, he's not Code S. A little bit of an error there, but that's okay. He is in Code A this season.
Yeah.
And did not make it into his 3rd match.
Nope, he's in the up and downs, though.
So he's going to be in the up and downs.
He lost to the STC, actually, I believe.
Well, I guess technically he started the season in Code S.
Yeah.
But he immediately got knocked down to Code S. So
at the time the stats page was probably made, he was in Code S. Okay.
So he started in Code S, but next season he will be Code A.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're looking at. Anyway, yeah, this guy, a Brood War champion, wasn't really the best Brood War player, actually, but he did win a championship. And he played really, really, really well in his first season of Code A. And everyone thought he was really going to go far in Code S. And then he immediately got just obliterated in Code S this season. So I'm not sure what to expect from him, to be honest. He's capable of playing extremely well. He's capable of losing to stuff that he shouldn't also.
I have studied 4GG's TVP quite a bit, and I feel our map here is Entombed Valley. I feel that he will do a Marine Tank Banshee all-in of some kind. I do not think we'll see him try to play the late game against Puzzle, especially right now with how Terrans have been feeling about this matchup. And the map choice, Entombed Valley is a pretty good map for Protoss for the late game. I absolutely think the plan is going to be some sort of Marine Tank Banshee all-in off of one base or perhaps two bases.
Yeah,
but I do not think he's going to try to play the bio late game. And 4GG is known for his timings.
Yeah.
In StarCraft 2, his timings haven't been quite as crisp as StarCraft 1, but he is known for his timings.
Yeah, well, his nickname in StarCraft 1 was the Time Attacker.
Yeah.
You know? And that
Your time's up.
That's kind of the difference, too. We were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but it just kind of clicked to me. Like, in the first season of Code A, his timings were really good. And you were talking about how lately his timings have been off, and that's why he's been losing.
Yeah, I don't mean... Yeah, and when I said that, I think... What I meant was his timings for his techs and his mid-game transitions seem to be off, but his timing attacks still seem strong.
Yeah, okay.
And I find that I've seen some weird games where he attacks with only Marines and Siege Tanks into Spine Crawlers and Banelings without Siege mode, and I'm like, okay, I know how this works sometimes, but that's a little bit weird.
You're like, you're not Marine King?
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to see out of him, but I expect to see some sort of timing attack. I do not think he'll play the late game. And like we've mentioned so many times, OGS has 2 lives left. To put 4GG out, the king of timing attacks, to do a timing attack, seems to make sense.
Yep. And then they still have Supernova in the hole to try and clean up there.
And Inca as well.
Inca as well.
I think we'll see Supernova rather than
Supernova
Inca.
is the best choice, though, there. I mean, he's definitely I would say the strongest, and I don't think it wouldn't be easy to argue against that he is the most in shape and has the most accomplished lately, definitely of the whole OGS team. So
would not argue that.
Anyway, but Puzzle has to defeat 4GG. He has to defeat Finn first, and yeah, it's going to be tough. But hey, Puzzle has already come back, gotten 2 kills for his team in a row. He's 2 more, but he's on a roll.
He is on a roll. He's got to be feeling confident, holding off that all-in. And the PvP he played was just, it was the razor-thin edge, man, and he was able to push through that one. So
yeah,
I think if he wins this one, OGS is shaking in their boots, man.
Yeah. They're going to be like, oh, crap.
They have a Vines too?
We had this in the bag, and Puzzle, like, came up behind him and, like, cut the bag open from the bottom, and it just, like, fell out of the bag.
It's been leaking out, man.
It's starting to leak out.
First Vines fell out of the bag. Zenio fell out of the bag. We just got a shot of the
Next,
crowd.
we're going to let the cat out of the bag.
I saw, like, a shot of the crowd on the Korean stream, and I wasn't sure. I was like, are we going to have that too? But we didn't. But, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but like I've said, actually probably like 6 or 7 times now, I do feel like we'll see a timing attack. We're just basically trying to wait for, of course, 4GG to get his settings completely set up here. Yeah. I think we're actually going to have a break regardless. But, again, we've stressed this 1,000 times. The key here for OGS is this game, if they don't win, who do they choose? I think it will be Supernova.
Yeah.
Puzzle is going to be happy if he
There's
can
actually no doubt in my mind that it'll be Supernova after this.
I would think that would be the best choice. Inca is kind of like, do you really want to put your last game on PvP? I wouldn't.
No.
So,
and
I don't think the Wind would either. He's pretty smart.
Yeah,
he's a clever guy.
Pretty smart. He's pretty smart. He's not going to put out Juke 2 or Saison for the last map.
He could put Juke 2 out. You don't know.
He's not an idiot. I'm sorry. Juke 2's not horrible, but he's definitely not the same caliber that we have with. I mean, Puzzle isn't the top level player anymore, but
he hasn't been sitting in Code B for months and months either.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so looks like still waiting for 4GG to get his settings set up there.
He's not in the lobby yet, and just waiting for him a little bit longer.
Yep. And what do you think, what kind of a strategy do you think Puzzle's going to go for on this map?
I think we'll probably see a 1 gateway expand. It's a pretty good map for that. There's a secondary ramp, so you can defend barracks pressure really easily. And even defending in siege tank pushes can be a little bit easier on a map like this. There's a lot of wide open spaces on this map to catch siege tanks in the middle of the map by time.
That's true.
And I think, even though I say that it's still a good map for the Marine Tank Banshee all-in, but I think we'll see a 1 gateway expand. I don't think we're going to see a Void Ray all-in or anything like that. Anyway, we are going to take that 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere. This is getting pretty tense here at the GSTL.